Hey guys, welcome back. Next bike in queue here is the 1973 CT175 that I picked up at Mid-Ohio Vintage Days this past year, 2024. And actually, it jumped ahead of a lot of bikes in my project queue just because it was closest to my workspace. A lot of my bikes are in storage units at other people's houses in their garage, and this one just happened to be in the right spot, so I didn't have to move a whole lot to get to it. Plus, I've been kind of want to get to a Yamaha again, especially the 175, since I haven't done one yet. So it should be pretty cool to finally get this one going. If you watched the video from Vintage Days, you'd see I did a quick walk around on this, and it's not 100% complete bike here, but I think it was converted to dirt because the taillight's gone. They converted it to straight premix. A couple other little things too, but the biggest problem with it being is the Kickstarter does not return or does not always engage either. So I found that if you pull this out, it will engage, and it seems like it's got pretty decent compression when you can do get it to engage. So we're gonna get that side cover off, get a look at that. Hopefully it's just the spring in here that's maybe either broken or just came off or something, but obviously something's going on in there. Like I said, someone in the past had taken the oil injection out of it, which is right here where that would come out. And you can see too, the cylinder where the inlet would be does not have the normal inlet. So somebody at one point changed the cylinder, and I think the head on this too. I think this is an Yamaha MX cylinder in head. I could be wrong on that though, but yeah, since there's no oil injection inlet, I think this is the motocross cylinder. Somebody also took the original airbox out of this, and let me get on the other side so you can see a little bit better. They put some heater hose on here and kind of put in a different airbox. And it looks like it fits in there pretty good. They did a good job of fabricating it in there. I'm not sure what that's out of. It might be another Yamaha or maybe the MX. I don't know. But there's no place for a battery, so there's really no way to get this back to street legal version if I were to do that. But I kind of want to leave it like this just because it'd be a cool little dirt bike to whip around in the woods a little bit, and you don't have to worry about all the extra stuff breaking on there. And being just straight premix right now, it'll be easier to just get that running and not have to worry about if the oil injection's working and all that good stuff. So probably just going to leave it the way it is, just because it'd be a fun little dirt bike. A lot of guys say these are pretty awesome woods bikes. Being a smaller bike, it's lighter, you could throw it around and it still makes really good power. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I want to get this thing going, because I want to try it out here before we get into the winter months. The up top on the controls, we're missing a key, which I already ordered a key coinciding with that number that's on there. I think I got the right one, but you can see the last digit. You can barely read it because it was like broken there. So I think it's a 1. So I ordered the 1721 key for that. So that's on its way. So hopefully we got the right one. The controls here, we got a clutch cable that's not doing anything. Missing the adjuster here. We do still have the light switch, horn. The horn is on there still. And turn signal switch, which we're not even going to worry about. The gauges are still there. A little bit loose, but they're still there. Still got the headlight. And the front brake here, and the same as the clutch. We have no adjuster here, so that's going to need addressed. Throttle is not stuck, but this cable gonna need some attention here too. You can see that's just dangling. And it's just going straight up into the top of the carb, and it looks like that was melting on the exhaust at one point. So that'll need addressed. We got the incorrect fender on the front of this. It should have a low fender. It does still have the stock front wheel, which is an 18-inch front wheel. And I'm just gonna, I'll leave this go. I actually prefer the high fender just for more clearance in the woods. you don't get the mud and stuff stuck up under the fender when it's riding right above the wheel. So not that I'm going to be taking it in crazy mud or anything, but you know, it gives it a more aggressive look, I think, with that up anyway. So the tank is in really good shape. Let me get it open up here so you can see the inside. It's just got a little surface rust there. It's bone dry, and it's got the old gas smell coming out of there. So a little bit of vinegar soak will clean that right up. Paint's in really good shape, as is the decal and stuff. There's only one little dent right here. So that's it for major blemishes on the tank. Bearings are all in really good shape. Wheel's pretty solid. Chain and sprockets look okay. We'll probably end up replacing those too. We'll get a look at that once we get it running, before we get it back in the woods. Front bearings seem okay too. So I'm gonna start probably just by getting some oil down the spark plug hole, making sure the rings are all lubricated, and we'll at least maybe try to see if we can get some spark out of it. Oh yeah, there's one other thing too I wanted to show you. This thing actually has a toolkit with it still. Something you normally don't see all the time with these old bikes is the toolkits with them still. So for as much as this thing was hacked up and you know, changed over from its original condition, it still has a toolkit, which is cool. Exhaust is in pretty decent shape too, not dented up. You just use a little coat of paint on there maybe, but first things first, we'll make sure we can get it to run, and kickstart, no problem. Yeah, first thing I think we're going to do is take the plug out, get some oil down the spark plug hole, and then see if we can get it to spark. But I probably won't be able to do that until I can get this in the on position, which I could just bypass that. But we'll see when that key comes in. Maybe it'll be in before I start. But yeah, enough talking. Let's get started, get this bike going again. All right, first thing I'm going to do is get the plug out of there. We'll get some oil down the spark plug hole. Get a look at this plug and see how it was last running. Okay, it's dry, it's black, a little bit of brown tinge on the electrode there, which is good. So it's not overly rich, not lean, but you know, it's been off for who knows how long, so we really won't know until we get it running again. I'll see if I can get this to engage and move that around a little bit in there. It actually stays engaged when you pull it out, so still doesn't want to spring back though. So maybe this would be a good time to test for spark. All right, next up I'm going to check for spark. Since I don't have the ignition key yet to be able to turn the ignition on, I'm just going to unplug it here from the harness. There's no kill switch on this either, so unplugging this should allow it to at least, you know, act as if the ignition is on. So let's give it a few kicks and see if we got spark. Oh yeah. we got spark. Sweet. All right, so we confirmed spark, so that's a big plus. So I'm going to go ahead and take the side cover off here next and get a look at the Kickstarter mechanism. See why we got this going on. First though, I'm going to drain the oil, whatever's left in there. I don't know if there's even much oil in here because I could tell this was, looks like this might have been opened at one point. Probably from the previous owner to see what he was getting into before selling it. So I'm going to open up the drain plug, see if there's anything in there. Right under here. And then probably get this up on my jack to raise it up a little bit, make it a little easier to work on. So the drain bolt was on just finger tight, so I'm assuming there's probably not going to be any oil in here. Yeah, we're all dry. Nothing in there. Okay. Kind of figured that. This case is looking like it might have been off, or the side cover was off at one point, so if there wasn't any oil in there, it was probably dripped all out there. All right, got it jacked up. I'm going to get this brake lever out of the way. I'm going to try to pop it off of here without taking this back off the jack. I didn't realize I was going to interfere with that one bolt right here. Get this Kickstarter out of the way next. So someone at some point converted these screws over to the Allen keys, Allen bolts here, except for these two screws here for some reason. So I'm just going to pop these off. They're all loose, like I said, and we'll get a look at the inside of here in a second. Guess we'll start here. That was just hanging out in there. That must be the one that goes right here. They left the pump in there and just cut the lines. So that's good. I could always put that back if I wanted. Looks like they had one of the wrong bolts here was way too long. It's kind of sticking out halfway. So I think this one goes in here, and the other one was just kind of hanging out in there because it never tightened down. So I got my little case drawing here to consult. I'm just going to put the bolts where I'm pretty sure they're going to go, but we'll know for sure where we're going to put it back together. These other ones seem okay. I think they just had those two mixed up. We'll figure it out though. I think this one's the last one. This case just wants to fall off, so I won't have to tap on it or anything. It's not looking like that, at least. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Looks like we got some metal flakes here. Bring you in for a closer look so you can see what I'm looking at. We just pulled the Kickstarter mechanism out. You can see this is a little bit messed up here. The circlip's kind of popping out, and it's not riding in there flush. So this is kind of jammed up. The spring looks okay. Can't really tell where the other side is supposed to, I guess that just stays tucked in there. So I can tell down here, let me get you in a little bit closer. A little piece right here that I saw sticking out. It looks like it's part of a spring. So that obviously broke off of something. And then this is all kind of chewed up here a little bit. So I think the edge of that Kickstarter mechanism's got to sit right in this little cavity here. And it looks like it kind of got knocked away a little bit. So we'll have to see how this is supposed to look. Get some pictures of a good one online and compare a little bit. Pulled some of that gasket away too, and you can see little bits here. I'm assuming it's probably from up in this area. Just sitting down at the bottom here. So something definitely broke away there. Teeth look okay on there. Teeth looked okay on the Kickstarter mechanism too. So I don't think it's any broken teeth. So as far as I could tell by looking at this, without looking at a good one right next to it, because I've never actually had to mess with a Kickstarter assembly on one, so this is a little bit new to me. I could tell this spring looks like it might have popped out of here. It's supposed to be, I don't think it's supposed to be riding down in there like that. So that's got to get pushed back. And then this here, like I was showing you before, is all bent up and stuff. I don't know if that circlip's supposed to ride in this groove and this needs to be pushed back or what. So I'm gonna get a little bit closer look, try to find a picture of one online and see what went wrong here. And I still don't know what this could have came from. This piece of, looks like a broken spring, but I can't see a spot on here where that would have broken off because this part here looks okay. And the other end is tucked down into here. I tried looking on the shifter selector fork on here, and the shifter moves up and down no problem, springs back okay. So I might end up having to take this off just to get a look if I can't figure out what this piece right here is. It was just laying at the bottom of the case there when I opened it up. So I think we're gonna be taking that clutch basket off anyway, because this was laying in the case here, on the side cover I should say, which is those little spacers that go, rubber spacers that go in between the clutch plates. Plus, I see some broken clutch plates too. So we're gonna get this off, get a look at what's going on behind there too. Should be a little ball bearing in there too, but it doesn't come out. Okay. Oh yeah, this could use a new clutch. This could definitely use a new clutch. This one's got like no friction plates left. That one just broke apart. Wow, they're just falling apart here. Wow. Wow, these are just completely melted. There's no material left on there. It looks like these things got super hot and brittle. As you can see, that one's just falling to pieces here. Look at that. That wasn't even on there very tight. Make sure these washers are on there the correct way. Okay. Yeah, so we got, just for my reference later, we got these two. So we got washer up against the back here, and then we got this one, and then another, I guess it's a thrust washer. And then this, okay, just for my reference. And we got this gear. And that sleeve. Okay. All that stuff looks okay. So after doing a little research and talking to my buddy Bob, who's a master Yamaha mechanic, he recommended that I get a new right side case for this engine. And that is why right there. I didn't realize that there was supposed to be a lot more metal built up there than what we have left. So just by luck, I happened to search Marketplace and I found a CT175 motor that a guy was selling local to me. It was about a half hour away from me for 50 bucks. So I figured I'd pick it up, and I already opened up the one side to get a look at the case here. You can see the difference on where that, how much metal is supposed to be in that spot. The luckily the kicker assembly is also in really good shape and it works good. So you can see this is the part that probably snapped off in that little chunk of metal I found in there. The question is, where's the other half of it? So that's all good. They had the kicker on the original one that I took off was on there backwards, the gear, because that's that slot right there is where that little clip should have rode, and that should be facing this way. So when that goes into here, it slips into that cavity right there. But since there's so much metal ripped away from there, this is just going to flop around and spin. So if I try to put a good kicker assembly in there, it'll just break apart again and ruin stuff, probably ruin more stuff. So that means I'm gonna have to split this engine, which not a big deal. I split one motor before that was on an MT250, so I kind of have some experience doing that, and I got a puller and stuff, so I kind of wanted to get my hands dirty with another one so I can get used to doing that, because I'm sure there's going to be some more I got to do, plus the XR200 I got to get to that. I got to replace that counter shaft. I'm going to have to split that one too, but you know, this one's going to be a little bit simpler just because it's a 2-stroke. So I got to do what I got to do. We're going to split that motor and get the, first I'm going to take the other engine apart, split that one. That'll give you some practice to see how it comes apart, and I can do this one and put that right side case in there with the good kicker assembly, and hopefully we'll be good to go. All right, fast forwarding to the next day. I didn't want to record the teardown on the donor motor just because I'm going to be doing it again here on the motor that's on the bike. So I'll make sure to record that so you guys see that whole process. And I got the donor torn apart and split already. Got my little engine diagram with all the spots for the screws. You can see a couple of these I had to chisel out because they were rusted in there pretty good. And the impact screwdriver was not working, so I had to get the chisel out and start hammering on those. Thankfully, they all came out. I didn't have to drill anything. So I got those all in place. I'll probably use that same diagram for the engine on the bike. And it actually came apart really easy. I didn't even need to pull her. I was able to just tap on the crankshaft and the transmission shaft here a little bit, and it popped apart. So that came out. I already got the bearings out. The one crank bearing on this motor was pretty bad. It was really noisy. Wasn't a whole lot of play in there, but I figure while I have it apart, I'll just replace the bearings on that side at least. And I'll double check the bearings on the other motor too. Obviously, if there's anything else on the other side, I don't know if there's any bearings I can get to. Probably have to remove the transmission to see the other ones. If they're bad, I'll replace those too. So, but this is the case I need. I already got it out, like I said, and we're gonna get this cleaned up. Might try to dunk it in. If it fits in my ultrasonic, I might put it in there. And we'll get it all cleaned up, and I'm gonna order up the bearings I'm gonna need and anything else that I'm gonna need. I got the crank seals, Yamaha OEM crank seals on the way. I'm gonna have a seal kit coming and gasket set as well. So I should be good to go here pretty soon once I get the engine off the bike, and we'll tear that down. So I'll make sure I record that too. So let's move over to the bike. We're gonna get this engine out of here and get it ready for a teardown. This one here is a little rounded off already, so I'm not even going to try. I'll probably just try to chisel that off. Sweet. All right, getting ready to take the motor out. Looks like there's only two mounting bolts. Or I'm sorry, 3. There's one down here too. Yeah, three mounts, and it's gonna undo the harness. Oh, wire holding that up too. What the heck? Yeesh. got one more here. It should just lift out of here now. Okay, we got the engine on the workbench, and we are ready to tear this one down too. So hopefully it comes apart as easy as the donor engine. I didn't even need a puller on it. I was able to just tap on that stuff, like I said, and it popped right apart. So this one, it seems to be a little bit better shape. There's not really any rust on it anywhere. Whereas the donor motor, I think, was sitting outside for a little bit, and you know, there was some rust on the inside components. Not necessarily on this side, but the shift mechanism had some rust on it. You can see there. And this, I don't know what they call this, the idler rod or whatever, that the plastic gear here for the oil pump rides on. I guess that's the oil pump, or that could be the actually the tachometer. But either way, I'm just going to move this over to the other side case, the right side case, and try to move as many good parts as I can over to it. Obviously, going to stick with this motor. In case you're wondering why I don't just try to use the other motor, aside from it being rusty on the inside, the 73 model had the reed induction, you can see here, whereas this engine is an earlier model. I think it's a 70, 71 or 72, going by the VIN on it, and they didn't have the reed induction. So my buddy Bob, who's helping me out with this, recommended stick with the 73 for obvious reasons. More power, more fun. So he also mentioned there was a upgrade on the bearing for the Kickstarter idler gear right here. So I'm gonna see if I can fit that bearing. I'm probably gonna get new bearings, of course, but fit the upgraded bearing in the side cover from the donor motor. But yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. I'm just gonna do it in the next video. I don't want to break it up in two pieces. I'd rather just do the tear down all in one. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, so you can get alerted when that happens, and watch me tear into this. So we'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.